There's a land battle going on here in Texas with millions of dollars at stake. It's not about who lives on the land now, rather who lived on it generations ago.
In a story you'll see only on Fox, Greg Grogan explores why thousands of Texans with Spanish blood say the state may owe them a fortune.
Carving out a living in this country long before folks named Austin or Houston claimed the title Texian. Settlers with Spanish blood in their veins, scratching out farms and herding cattle on royal land grants earned with sweat and perseverance.
Beautiful people, decent, lots of kids.
For Al Cisneros, it is a powerful legacy, which inspires as much pride as his years flying with the Blue Angels. And yet simmering beneath his love of country is a fury over what he calls a terrible wrong.
The old faces that I remember as a child, and their suffering, their anguish, their tears. Los terrenos, mijo. We lost the lands.
This is that South Texas land today, its surface laden with signs of the vast oil and natural gas wealth below. Year after year, a portion of the profits goes unclaimed, royalty income for which energy companies insist they can locate no rightful owner. By law, that money is now surrendered to the state. According to the Texas Comptroller, more than $211 million so far.
It's not your money. It is not your money. It's ours.
To understand that claim, you must understand the history. Ownership of hundreds of thousands of these acres date back to 1767. Porciones sanctioned by the Spanish crown and later affirmed by Mexico, Texas, and the United States. Here's where the story gets truly interesting. Over the past 5 years, a lady lawyer in LaPorte has convinced 11,000 descendants that mineral wealth beneath land long lost or sold is still their rightful inheritance.
About $1 billion is unclaimed royalty interests that belong to these unknown heirs.
Her name is Eileen Fowler.
I am a crusader.
And a convincing one at that. Fowler says these land-grant families never relinquished their mineral rights when their ancestors sold or were pushed off the property. After energy was discovered, many oil companies made only token attempts to learn who truly retained the rights, a practice Fowler calls grand theft.
You took these people's inheritance for 100 years. And they should be compensated.
With the hope of a big payday, land-grant descendants regularly gather in Fowler's office.
We don't go to court unless our proof is 100%.
Each pays $300, the cost of confirming their descendancy and running a title search on their ancestors' property. It's the kind of evidence she takes to South Texas courthouses, where many of her clients have been declared heirs of the original grantees.
Most of the judges are Hispanic. They understand that finally somebody's trying to do something for us.
It's fair to say the land-grant families will need plenty of help from politicians here at the state capitol in Austin, where the unclaimed energy wealth has sat basically untouched, accumulating interest for decades. Blasting that money out of the state treasury won't be easy. Especially when decision makers hear what Galen Greaser of the Texas Land Office has to say. He literally wrote the book on Spanish land grants.
In Texas, mineral rights essentially began in 1866. Grants from the Spanish crown did not convey the minerals.
Greaser cites a centuries-old Spanish law which awards all minerals in the realm exclusively to the king.
And the idea that these grants were in perpetuity is definitely erroneous.
Greaser concedes many descendants of the Spanish grantees were still on their porciones after the Civil War, when Texas lawmakers awarded mineral rights to anyone who owned the surface. But it was during the turbulent century that followed that many Hispanics lost the land.
It wasn't always simply a matter of fraud and deception and violence. There were economic and social reasons also why land changed hands.
It is the century of dispossession that followed, which Cisneros is fighting to reverse.
Craig, this is about the American way. This is about finding justice.
A fair reckoning for Texans who believe their claim on the unclaimed is righteous and payment long overdue. Greg Grugan, Fox 26 News.